The library is very important to me. Aside from it, I don't have anything else.
Alright, double what are you doing today? Skycon here. Welcome back to Black Beacon. Today, we're gonna be playing Chapter 2. And before we do that, I must say, I kept re-rolling on my phone the whole day yesterday until I got the perfect, roll. With 20 pulls, I got Florence. I'm so glad. And I got Logos in 30 pulls. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in here. I have enough pulls for me to go to 70. I hope I get it earlier than that, honestly. And I'm hoping to get Erechan. I really want Erechan, honestly. In my previous account, like the one I played the story in, I got Viola. And I didn't really want to use her, honestly. I just was like, meh, you know? So right now I'm hoping for a better outcome, because I already played through the story again, and I actually reached where we were yesterday. Well, the day before yesterday, actually. I didn't play yesterday. I was editing the whole day. I had a lot of videos to edit. So yeah, that is that. So let's hope for the best, honestly. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna skip it. Oh my god, we got her. Oh my god, this account is saved.
This name, right?
Yeah, this account.
Since I'm here, it means, for now, we're in the same boat.
Okay, this account is extremely saved, man. It's really, really saved. I got her. I am so happy and so satisfied with my polls. There's nothing else for me to want right now. I just wanted her. I don't think I'm gonna use her because I already have a main DPS. But right now, everything is well, and it's gonna...
Clear, logical thinking ensures progress up the ladder of philosophy.
Without further ado, let's just get right into the story. The Eternal Sun. Circa 2000 years before world calendar. Ooh. Gabriel, the Eternal City, has stood as the heart of the Yapeth Empire for many centuries. As the people of the Empire have come to expect, it will undoubtedly continue to do so until the end of times. The Empire was vast by the time of Thurinus the Great, but the frontiers of the Emperor's ambitions were far beyond the current borders of his domain.
Father, I have arrived.
Just in time, Rubicon. Look at the water lilies in the pond. They were brought here from Memphis. This is a tribute from the governor of Memphis province. The lilies were plucked 20 days ago from the banks of the Memphis River, delicately immersed in jars filled with fresh water, transported on a ship across the Philistine Sea, and swiftly brought to Javriel. Today marks the onset of the flowering season. It would be a waste to enjoy these flowers alone, so I invited you to accompany me. I've also extended invitations to others. General Sarvis resides nearby in his mansion, and he should be joining us shortly. Are you acquainted with him?
Yes, I know him. Sarvis is a valiant general.
Knowing him is not enough, Rubicon. As my heir, you must remain well informed about all the developments in Javriel. Sarvis was recently promoted to the rank of youngest senator. It is imperative that you maintain a close relationship with him in the times to come.
Understood, Father. I shall pay him a visit later.
Well, that won't be necessary. He's already arrived.
Your Majesty.
Rise, Sarvis. Now, we await the arrival of High Priest Mirari. Sarvis, you have accomplished remarkable military triumphs on my behalf. I had promised that on the day of your senatorial promotion, you may select any city within my empire as your fiefdom, excluding Javriel. Have you made your decision?
By the grace of your Majesty.
Let's skip the formalities of the Senate. Choose your city, and I shall grant it to you. Leave the pleasantries and bureaucratic matters to others.
I desire a land as warm and inviting as your Majesty's garden.
While numerous warm lands lie within my dominion, only one city possesses a garden like charm. Your discernment is commendable, for you have chosen a place even I find difficult to part with. Very well. Bellefontaine shall be yours. Tend to her with care, for she is a unique and precious flower, even amidst my vast garden. Ah, here comes the High Priest as well.
Greatness be upon you, my lord. May your reign endure as long as the Tiberius River flows through the Eternal City.
Indeed, at my age, divine favor is required to sustain my rule over this nation for much longer.
Worry not, Father. Your radiance shines as brightly as the sun that illuminates the entirety of Japheth.
You've picked up the rhetoric of those eloquent orators, Rubicon. But have you ever seen a day when the sun does not set?
I mean no disrespect, Father.
I know you do not. While your words are flattering, I believe I truly merit such praise. I no longer require badges, scepters, or crowns to demonstrate my power. Nor do my accomplishments necessitate statues, poems, or triumphal arches to extol their glory anymore. The Senate recently bestowed upon me the title of the Sacred One. I wonder, on the day of my departure, whether the artisans will find a monument vast enough to inscribe all my titles. Frequently, I have wondered what further achievements I can attain during my remaining time. My generals have conquered the entire civilized world known to us, and the remaining lands are either too remote or too desolate. My empire has transformed the Philistine Sea into an inland lake. In this regard, I've surpassed all previous emperors in history. When I inherited Javria, it was constructed of bricks, and when I pass it on to you, Rubicon, my beloved son, it shall be a grand, eternal city. You mentioned the sun earlier, which brings something to mind. The governor of Memphis province sent me a letter along with the flowers. In his letter, he mentioned an ancient legend cherished by the people of Memphis, asserting that their god of the sun was captured by conquerors from the east. According to them, the conquerors hailed from a realm known as the Arsacid Empire. Have you ever heard of that place?
To the best of my knowledge, the Arsacid Empire lies far to the east of our domain, inhabited by different people with a distinct culture. This region is situated near another sea.
The Memphian legend concerning the god of the sun appears to lack veracity. It is merely a deity concocted by simplistic individuals for their own peace of mind.
I understand your piety, Mirari. However, there have been countless gods worshipped in the lands conquered by Japheth. Since the native people believe in those gods, it implies that those gods have favored them, and we Japhethians won't interfere with their beliefs. With that said, it is surprising to hear claims that gods walk the earth as tangible beings that can be captured like treasures. Now, I find that interesting. Rubicon, Sarvis, and Mirari, go to the Arsacid Empire and see it for me. If the god of the sun is truly there, bring it back to my throne. Only Javriel deserves an everlasting son.
Father, what should we do to the kings and lands of the Ars Acid Empire?
I desire the sun only. If they decline my request, destroy them all. And if they willingly relinquish it, you may decide their fate.
Bro's a tyrant at this point.
Well, I've spent too much time discussing a tiny piece of land. Let us enjoy these splendid water lilies before the sun sets.
Damn, bro. 3 months later.
Finally. This is the fabled tower that reaches the heavens.
Back in Javriel, I heard tales of it. The tales spoke of how the ancient people aspired to reach the heavens, and thus the tower was constructed. When its foundations were laid, the land was still known by its original name, Obed. I always believed it to be nothing more than fiction. I never imagined that the descendants of Obed continued to build upon it. The dreams of mankind are truly remarkable.
From the way you spoke just now, one would think that we didn't emerge victorious in our great conquest, General Sarvis.
High Priest, I'm sure you can sense that even as conquerors, our splendor of victory pales in comparison to this tower. We are facing something that cannot be conquered by force and will never bow to humans.
You speak the truth. It is not only blood and sword that invoke awe. It is the achievements built upon intangible foundations that endure.
Today, for the first time, the Japhethians bear witness to this marvel, and poets will compose new songs to commemorate this event.
This is our shared feat. Together, our names will be engraved on the next arch of triumph in Jariel.
But before your triumph, Your Highness, we have much to accomplish. What shall we do with the subjects of the Arsacid Empire?
They have surrendered, so I have ordered our troops to cease fighting and rest.
However, if the Arsacid Empire dares to resist, His Majesty's decree is to destroy it.
Father is the sun, and naturally, he does not concern himself with the insects scorched by his blazing light. But the people here are far away from Japheth. It is not their fault they are unaware of His Majesty's mighty name.
Damn, bro. They're worshiping him like he's God or something. Holy fuck.
I understand your point, Your Highness. It has been said that we Japhethians are like a melting pot. There are 2 points behind that statement. First, we open our hearts and minds to all who are willing to submit. Second, if anyone is as stubborn as copper and iron, we will melt them with our fire until they become part of Japheth. Force and fear have been the best tools your father has employed for decades. Through them, the fire of Japheth's heart burns brighter and brighter. I agree that those methods are hardly the most effective. If Your Highness allows, I will find gentler ways to integrate the Arsacid Empire into our fold. If we can make the soldiers abandon their weapons for good, they will no longer pose a threat to us, and we will not need to shed their blood.
The High Priest makes a valid point. This approach would spare the lives of those people without contradicting my father's will.
Well, I am just a general, and I focus on military affairs only. I will leave the decision on other matters to you and the High Priest.
Ah, Sarvis. It is evident that your knowledge and eloquence surpass those of your colleagues in the Senate. Yet, you humbly refer to yourself as just an... I'll take that as a yes. High Priest, I hereby grant you the authority to handle the people of the Ars Acid Empire at your discretion.
As you wish, Your Highness.
Now, it is time to claim the ultimate rewards for our arduous journey.
According to the historical accounts of the Arsacid Empire, it was the Emperor Darius who brought the god of the sun from Memphis to Obed 5 centuries ago. Darius once established the greatest empire in Obed. He made Memphis his province long before Japheth came into power.
If this realm were still under his rule, I might have respectfully approached their gates and dispatched a messenger to request an audience. A man who desires to possess the sun must be as ambitious as my father.
Circa 2,500
The Tower of
10
Babel.
years before the calendar.
That's the one thing in the world, besides the stars, deserving of my upward gaze. It's only fitting that the most glorious trophy should be placed in the highest place of my kingdom. I'm now entrusting it to you, Emion.
What is this, Your Majesty?
A good question, and one that I would like to ask you, too. I have heard tales that beneath the majestic waterfalls of the Memphis River lies the dormant, ancient god of the sun. It once destroyed the capital of an ancient pharaoh and then sank into the river. So I conquered the land of that pharaoh and ordered countless individuals to dive into the waters, leaving no stone unturned. But the outcome was a great disappointment. The so-called god of the sun was no more than a copper sphere. While it's well crafted, the artisans of Obed could have created a work of art 10 times more intricate than that. I ordered my people to smash it on the spot. However, even the mightiest warriors of my immortal army could not destroy it. No weapon could even scratch its surface. I had craftsmen construct colossal pyres and burn it for 10 days, yet its shell remained unaltered. Finally, I instructed my warriors to transport it to the highest peak in Memphis and cast it off the cliffs. But it was the unyielding stones below that shattered, not the copper sphere. Since long ago, you have collected many extraordinary artifacts in this tower, and you have recruited numerous scholars from my land. I have never impeded or doubted your endeavors, but now I'm asking for a small favor in return. Unravel the mystery surrounding this sphere, and the reason why the Memphians revere it as a god of the sun, and find out the secret to its immortality.
Arsadic Empire. Circa 2,510 years ago. After a fleeting moment, enveloped in a familiar sense of chaos, clarity begins to return to my senses. This time, the surroundings alone declare that I have been transported back to the distant past. The shelves are filled with old yellow scrolls made of parchment and papyrus. I randomly pick a scroll and unfold it only to find unfamiliar symbols covering its surface. What are these symbols?
The letters used in the Arsacid Empire.
The Arsacid Empire?
It was one of the dynasties that existed in Obed about 2,000 years before our time. The dynasty lasted for centuries, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly where we are within that period.
Did you just bring us to some random point in time?
I was just thinking about going back to 2,000 years ago.
You didn't even have a specific year or coordinates in mind? Just a vague idea? I can't believe it actually worked. Seriously, it's not like you scanned anything. It's more like cheating.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I guess. What do you want to say? While Ere-chan is busy showering me with caustic remarks, Antwerp takes the scroll from my hand and brings it to Zero.
This is a legal document about the sale of grain and a deed to a farm. While it provides concrete information, it doesn't help us determine the exact time.
You're as reliable as ever. No wonder that old man wanted to make you the next director. Why did you throw them at me?
You can read them too, can't you?
Annoyed, Ere-chan bites her lips, but starts examining the scrolls anyway.
Let's see what the heck we have here. Basic math, ledgers, lists of engineers, tax collection records, and tribute lists. All useless information. Wait, I found something, Zero.
Zero approaches Ere-chan and glances at the contents.
This is a record written by the court scribe of the 5th Emperor.
The 5th Emperor.
He was an unremarkable emperor in the history of Obed, and not well known.
Okay.
Throughout its long history, Obed has been the center of powerful empires at times, and has fallen under the control of other empires at other times. The 5th Emperor's reign belonged to the latter category. During that time, the Japheth Empire in the west, ruled by Emperor Thurinus, was at its peak. Thurinus' armies extended to the farthest reaches of the known world in all directions. In the east, they reached the Alsacid Empire. During his reign, Thurinus sent an expedition army led by his son Rubicon, the high priest Merari, and General Sarvis to Obed. However, the expedition didn't result in Obed becoming a new province of Japheth, as was the case with other areas during that era. The reason for the truce remains a mystery, as no records or treaties were passed down through history. However, the Tower of Babel remained under its existing ownership during that war. Amaon, throughout different generations, protected it during all the crises and incidents, ensuring the library's safety and preservation.
That's a nice way of saying sitting on the fence.
Pretty much.
The knowledge stored in the tower is incredibly valuable, so no one would want to destroy it, right?
Of course.
Besides, those old chumps did have their talents, as long as they were willing to cooperate. No emperor in his right mind would give them a hard time.
So I guess we've traveled back to 2,000 years ago?
As much as it pains me to admit it, your ability is quite remarkable.
Erichan grunts and strides ahead of us. Looking at her, I can't help but quietly ask Zero, why can't you two ever get along? She surely holds a grudge against us, right?
If I remember correctly, this is the second time you've asked me a question like this. My answer is still the same. But, since this is your second question, I think it's best to give you more information. Arishan is the daughter of the previous director. Before my arrival, Cosmos planned to appoint her as the next director.
So she didn't like the fact that he wanted to appoint you, or right now I am pretty much the next director, yeah? If she became the director, Emeon would never know peace. So you...
My duty is to safeguard this tower and the Library of Babel. And naturally, that includes you, as the current director.
What are you two whispering about back there? Hurry up and follow me.
Alright, I'm coming. Guess we're just gonna keep going, eh? Ooh, this is nice. Me likey, me likey. Me likey very muchy. Okay. Yeah, okay. Simple enough.
What a rudimentary ancient device.
Oh yeah, I did this by accident yesterday. Okay.
This is such a mess. It's like a battle just took place here.
Maybe that's exactly what happened. According to historical records, this is the time when the war between Obed and Japheth erupted. We might have arrived at a point where the war is still ongoing.
They can fight their wars all they want, but why did they break into the library and make such a mess? How annoying.
Let's go find Emeons from this era. They should be able to help us.
Alright. Ooh, the shape of that building looks like a throne.
It used to be a throne indeed. The history of the Library of Babel and Emeon is far older than the fleeting thrones of this land. Thrones may rise and fall, yet the tower stands firm. True Emeons must adapt to the shifting of power and serve the reigning monarchs. But that does not mean we owe them our allegiance.
However, during the eras when the Tower of Babel wasn't forgotten, almost every monarch took pride in conquering it. With the library's opening, the primordial sector housing the throne became a prominent landmark. Anyway, since we don't have a specific goal, why don't we head in that direction? Perhaps we'll stumble upon unexpected treasures.
Alright, let's keep going.
The main path ends here. Let's check out what's below.
Yeah, but I should be able to get there, right?
Pluck the heartstrings.
How do I get there? Yeah, okay. That was simple. And I guess I'll need some characters to
Interesting bellow.
travel between areas like that. Okay. Was it only one chest in this one? There are no chests. Oh. Okay. Oh. We're gonna fight something here. Zero's always... battlefield. Erishan, let's just go with the most straightforward way. Her words leave me unsettled as expected. The next moment, Erishan swiftly slices the mechanics with her scythe. Astonishingly. Okay. Oh, we get a chest. Okay. I guess. Alright. What is this? Ooh. I don't think this is the right path. Let's see where this leads.
Ugh, not even budging. I should have known not to expect anything from this old junk.
Yeah, okay, it's not working then. This tower, like, does it actually build itself? Or do people actually build on top of it? Because, I don't know. Because the higher it goes, the more builds.
Then let's be a bit more serious.
I don't know. I'm really curious about that part. I still can't understand it properly, honestly. Yeah, let's get this over with. Okay. Before we can catch our breath, a rustling sound makes Ere-chan and Zero turn their heads suddenly.
Who's there?
Ere-chan raises her weapon, but Zero holds her back.
Wait.
The figure, realizing his presence, discovered, emerges from behind the bookshelves and shows himself. As both sides recognize each other, everyone eyes widen in surprise.
You are.
Zero pauses, letting the man speak instead.
You're Outlanders. No, wait. The symbols on your clothes.
Zero, you explain it to him.
Blah 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 blah. We're from 2,000 years later. Okay. Tarhina Zero's experience, the man remains surprisingly calm.
So, you're travelers from the future. That's truly incredible. Since you're from the future, your clothes must also be from the future. No wonder I can't place their origin. The Library of Babel is truly full of wonders.
Could you tell us which era we are in?
The man lets out a heavy sigh.
Since you're from the future, you probably already know that the current ruler of Obed, the 5th Emperor, is a disappointment.
Yeah, and we know that the Arsacid Empire was at war with the Japheth Empire.
The war has ended. Despite Tharinius being advanced in years, he didn't underestimate his enemy, and prepared enough troops for a full-scale war.
Damn.
Unfortunately, he overestimated his opponent. The 5th Emperor couldn't manage a single clash on the battlefield.
Bruh.
As soon as he found out that Japheth only wanted a specific item from the Tower of Babel, he backed down immediately.
Huh, you don't seem to have a high opinion of your emperor. Is it acceptable for a subject to say such things?
The librarian chuckled softly.
Emperor. He's far from deserving that title.
You mentioned that Japheth only wanted a specific item from the tower. What is it?
The sun.
I've heard that Rubicon's ultimatum mentioned Memphis' god of the sun. I've seen it a few times, but it's disappointing. It's just a huge metal ball that doesn't seem to have any connection to the sun other than its shape. I heard it was a trophy captured by Obed's past monarch, Emperor Darius, after conquering Memphis. The item was sent away by Rubicon a few days ago, and it should be close to the Ephrathoth on the coast of the Philistine Sea by now. Then it will be loaded onto a ship and sent to Javriel.
Looks like we're too late.
No, not yet. 2,000 years ago, Ephrathah by the Philistine Sea witnessed the final glimmer of Arten.
Ephrathah by the Philistine Sea? Hold on.
As Ere-chan repeats Zero's words, she exchanges a glance with Zero and suddenly realized something.
The Star of Ephrathah.
History sure loves to play tricks on us.
It's Aten. Ere-chan nods and looks at the librarian.
So, you don't know how to control that copper sphere either?
No, we don't. Honestly, we wouldn't even know it's something that can be activated if you hadn't mentioned it. But since those Japhethians are so desperate to get their hands on it, they might have some knowledge about it. Interestingly, Prince Rubicon and his Praetorians are currently stuck in the library.
What did you just say?
Rubicon didn't leave after obtaining that god of the sun. He learned about us in the Library of Babel from the 5th Emperor.
Ah, shoot.
Rubicon considered the library a treasure far more valuable than that copper sphere, so he took his soldiers inside the Tower of Babel. It happened to coincide with the opening of the library, so I'm not sure if we should call it lucky or unlucky.
So, you mean we can find him inside the Library of Babel?
Exactly. Unfortunately, I won't be able to accompany you for the rest of your journey. I need to find my companions as soon as possible.
That's all right. Thank you for all the information.
May the library be with you. Emion from the future.
Alright, guess we keep going. Need to find where they're located. Oh yeah, there were chests. What? Why didn't I see it in the pause menu? Weird. There are 2 chests in here. The Stars of Infrathat.
Now we know exactly what to do next. Hopefully, we'll find something this time. Since the Japhethians are after that copper sphere, they must have heard something about it, right?
The star of Ifrathat you just mentioned.
Oh, it was an anomaly that appeared in Ephrathah, near the western shore of the Philistine Sea, around 2000 BC. According to historical records, a solitary star of unparalleled splendor emerged in the night sky above Ephrathah. Unlike other stars, it remained fixed over Ephrathah. The star was visible along the entire coast of the Philistine Sea, but it vanished shortly after its appearance, and hasn't been recorded in any astronomical observations since. Naturally, some might consider it a collective illusion, but for us Emaons, it was an undeniable anomaly. Since there were no Emaons in Ephrathah at that time, the truth behind this incident has remained a mystery for thousands of years. Until just now. Considering the time and location, it's safe to say that the Star of Ephrathah is Aten, which the Japhethian transported from the Arsacid Empire. Although it lasted only for a brief period, it did ascend back into the sky, emanating radiance and brilliance. The only question is this: who in this era discovered the command to activate it?
Yeah, we should really learn that. That is going to be very, very intriguing and interesting. Alright, let's keep going. This is the wrong way, so I assume there's a chest here. Nope. You can't even go further. Got it. Guess we just have to keep going. Can I go this way? I guess not. The only way is up. Up and up. Up we go.
These are traces left by the marching soldiers.
It seems like they're not far ahead. Let's hope we can still reason with those Japhethians in the tower.
Okay. Can't go here? No, we can. No, we can or we can't, bro. I get stuck. Ah, okay. Shattered stone door blocks our path through the cracks in the ruins. Okay. Guess we can't pass through here. Oh, what the? What the? What is that? Wait, what? Ah, I have to fix it. That's an interesting puzzle. Okay. Nice. Okay, yeah, that was an interesting puzzle. Ah, that was different. Very interessante. Can we even? Nope, we can't. This? Yeah, of course. I'm an idiot.
Forgive all sins. The fire is burning. Forgive all sins, blooming from the flames. In the name of Florence.
Okay. Don't try it before getting hit and release. Yeah, I already know that. Okay. Big PP damage. Oh. That's a way. Yeah, okay. Ra-ta-ta-ta. Ere-chan, do your thing. Yep, thank you. Alright, that's a second chest. Right.
Interesting fellow.
Or not. Oh, yeah, okay. One of the collectible thingies. Okay.
Interesting fellow.
Let's go. Alright, that's the stage. Next one.
Seems like those unwanted Japhethians are having some trouble too. So, if we lend them a hand now, they'll be more cooperative, right?
Looks like you've run into a bit of trouble.
Ooh, one shot.
Are you Emeons? Our general's looking for you.
Why bother being polite with these wicked sorcerers? We wouldn't be trapped in this never-ending labyrinth if it weren't for them.
Oh, is that how you wanna
General
treat,
ordered us to treat Emeons
saviors?
with proper etiquette.
Erichan raises an eyebrow at the sight.
Well, let's skip the pleasantries. To be honest, we're looking for your commander, too. And you should already know that none of you will make it in this maze without us.
Are you threatening us?
Silence! I apologize. Our general is nearby, but this place is dangerous. Please allow us to clear a path ahead for you.
You're gonna clear a path for us. Is that it? Okay. To yourself. Don't blame me if you die. Okay. Can we even go there? Is that a path? Is that a chest? I don't see anything, so I assume not. Okay, I guess we have to just continue for now. Or not. Okay, got it. Yeah, that was the path that we came from. Okay, we keep going. We go Wingu. Onwards and upwards, yeah? Yeah.
Despite all their fancy talks, they need our help in the end.
Yep.
Forgive all fire is burning, blooming from the flames. In the name of Florence.
Oh, 3,000 damage.
Thank you for coming to our aid once again.
No need to thank us. You mentioned your general is close, so I wonder where we can find His Royal Highness.
You filthy scum! How dare you ask of His Majesty's whereabouts?
What is wrong with these fucking soldiers?
His
God
Majesty
damn.
showed great sincerity by bringing only dozens of Victorians into this tower, as per your request. But you set your vile trap and scattered us.
Oh, I get it. You guys got separated.
You...
Please, Eri, stop.
Our general is just up there, not too far away. Please head in that direction.
We all are pieces of scheisse. You need to calm down, bro. You just saved our asses and you're just too arrogant. God damn, bro. You think your empire is everything. Oh, I didn't find the chest. I'll find it later on my own time. Let's go for now. Service.
Oh? You're just in time. Although we haven't met, judging by the patterns on your garments, I assume you are Emeons, the caretakers of this ancient tower, correct? The vastness of this world is truly beyond mortal imagination. When I first heard about the Library of Babel, I dismissed it as mere ramblings of the common folk. Turns out this marvel really exists. I'm sure the Japhethian poets will compose 1,000 new epics about it. Allow me to express my sincere admiration. However, as you can see, we are lost inside this tower. Could you show us the way out?
Yeah,
What's your tongue? A commoner like you has no right.
Shut up! Shut up!
It's all right. They're the hosts here. It's only
God
natural
damn,
for them
bro.
to ask the name of their guests.
Y'all are too arrogant. God damn.
I am Sardis, a senator of Japheth and a general serving Prince Rubicon. Lord Thurnus is a benevolent emperor who welcomes scholars from all corners of the world. We will be returning in a few days, and if you are interested in joining us, I can take you back to Javriel. But of course, that's all on the condition that you lead us out of this fantastic labyrinth.
I've heard that Rubicon's ultimatum mentioned Memphis's god of the sun.
Until just now. Considering the time and location, it's safe to say that the Star of Ephrathah is Aten, which the Japhethian transported from the Arsacid Empire.
Ephrathah, Aten, Japhethians. The scattered clues start to form a bigger picture. So you're the ones who took away Aten.
Atem, you mean the ancient god of the sun in Memphis? We've traveled all the way here to retrieve it. Do you have a problem with that?
Because we, too, are here for Aten. Sarvis appeared unsurprised by my response.
During our journey, my men gathered many records about Aten, and I've heard about your research on the god of the sun. But there's nothing I can do, as His Majesty has decreed that if there is a sun on Earth, it shall only rise above the eternal city and shine down upon his throne. As for the Emperor of Arsacid, well, I don't think his lousy chair deserves such high honor. Obed witnessed the rise of its first sun-wielding monarch, Darius. It's such a shame that his successor would fall so far.
Irichan narrows her eyes and starts fishing for information.
Since you've come here for Aten, you must know how to harness it, right?
Sarvis furrows his brow.
What do you mean by harnessing it? Are you suggesting it's a living being that can be controlled?
Yeah, with the right commands, you can order it to do anything you want. Wait, you didn't know that?
Commands? So that metal ball understands commands.
Oh, what the... Bro, of course it does. How else do you make it float above Ephrata? How did you deactivate it in the end?
Float, Ephrata, deactivate? I'm utterly puzzled by what you're saying.
It didn't happen yet.
I've heard that Emeon means mouthpieces of the gods in ancient languages. It is said that your task is to listen to prayers and provide answers, not ask questions. If you have forgotten your duties after all these years, I don't mind reminding you.
His gaze suddenly turns cold.
Or are you trying to buy time? Are you using this labyrinth to separate us from Prince Rubicon and now asking questions to stall for time?
Completely composed, he steps in our direction. The soldiers around him raise their weapon, closing in. At that moment, Zero positions herself in front of me. You're misunderstanding us.
I also hope this is a misunderstanding, but your words and actions lack sincerity. If you want to clear up this misunderstanding, please lead us out of this labyrinth.
I've already made it clear. We're here for Aten. Give us Aten first, otherwise we won't offer you any help.
What a shame. It seems you're intentionally delaying my return to His Highness. We have traveled all the way here, but failed to find worthy opponents. And my soldiers are eager for a proper fight. Now I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to fulfill their wish. Show us your legendary skills, Emeons. Take them down!
Not today, pieces of shit. Y'all think you can own the universe.
Pluck the heart of inspiration! Pluck the heartstrings!
Looks like you've had some professional combat training. Praiseworthy, but your coordination was a total disaster.
Is that so? Does this look like a disaster to you?
You might be good in gladiator battles against beasts, but when it comes to my battle-hardened legion, you're as vulnerable as a kitten before a lion. Phalanx formation, soldiers! Don't underestimate our foe!
General, monsters are swimming in.
Hold the line! Maintain formation! Wipe out all those monsters and capture those Emeons alive!
What are you waiting for, Master Director?
Blooming from the
Do you
flames.
seriously think we can defeat the mighty Japheth phalanx at the peak of their
In the
power?
name of Florence.
Just activate your amazing time machine and make a quick escape.
The past or future?
Anywhere will do. Stop with the questions and do something. Just go to the future, like a month later. Let's get away from them.
Let's start scanning. 1 month later. The chaos dissipates. However, the scene that unfolds freezes everyone in place. Instead of escaping from Sarvis and his soldiers, we find ourselves right in the midst of their encirclement.
Is your time travel ability malfunctioning or what? Are you sure you sent us a month ahead?
Before I can answer Erchan's question, I notice Sarvis walking directly towards me.
Please stand down.
Looking at Zero, who takes a defensive stance, Sarvis display a slightly surprised expression.
Dear Emeon, I bear no ill intentions.
His gaze shifts from Zero to me.
Have you forgotten our agreement?
What agreement? Sarvis raises his hand, and the surrounding soldiers immediately step back and kneel before us. This unexpected twist leaves Erchan and Zero stunned. Meanwhile, Sarvis steps forward and takes my hand.
Ah, thanks, Emeons. You truly are the mouthpieces of the gods. Following the divine words you delivered, we managed to appease the wrath of the god of the sun.
What?
It is you who have saved the world from destruction and allowed us to witness the true sun once more.
Oh, he activated it by now.
The people of Japheth, the Arzacid Empire, and all other regions should be grateful for the news you brought.
Is this another misunderstanding or something? Zero tilts her head in confusion. Erchan steps forward and positions himself between Sarvis and me.
What are you even talking about?
Her words snap Sarvis out of his excitement. He reaches into his armor and takes out a piece of parchment.
I apologize for my excessive enthusiasm. This is the note you asked me to write down.
Before Sarvis finishes his sentence, Erchan's eyes light up as she reaches out towards Sarvis. However, just as her fingertips are about to touch the corner of the parchment, a violent tremor shakes the ground beneath us. It feels like a powerful force is about to erupt from below. In that moment, an intense... Oh, I couldn't even read. In that moment, an intense sense of unease washes over me. Eri-chan! Eri-chan quickly pulls her hand back and swiftly carries me over her shoulder, leaping away from the area. In the next instant, a colossal figure falls from the sky and lands in front of us. Oh, that thing followed us all the way here. What the hell?
No! This won't get us anywhere! Are you trying to get yourself
Calm down.
killed?
Look at me. Take us back to 500 years ago. To Darius's era.
King Herod. 1 month ago.
I'm grateful, Your Highness. If it weren't for your intervention, I might have been lost in that labyrinth forever.
Don't mention it. High Priest Marari insisted on bringing the Emians along, and it turned out to be a wise decision. Otherwise, we would have been trapped on that endless stairway forever.
Speaking of Emions, I encountered a few of them in the tower, and they were dressed in a peculiar fashion. They mentioned something beyond my comprehension. According to them, the copper sphere we transported back to Japheth appears to be a living entity or a device that can be activated through specific commands. They also claimed that the ancient god of the sun in Memphis would rise again over Ephrathah, and they held us responsible for this occurrence.
Where are those Emians now?
I apologize, Your Highness. I had intended to capture them alive and gather more information. Although they were skilled fighters, their lack of coordination made them vulnerable, and we could have easily defeated them. However, just as my soldiers closed in on them, they vanished into thin air. At first I thought it was an illusion, but the marks left on my soldiers' weapons and armor are undeniably real.
Sarvis, after witnessing numerous miracles in the library, are you still amazed by such minor happenings? I won't be surprised by anything that happens within those infinite rooms. It astonishes me that Obed possesses such a treasure. If the claims of those Emians are true, the Library of Babel contains answers to all questions in the world. Regardless, that copper sphere, even if it is connected to the sun, doesn't matter anymore. The sun rises every day, but it doesn't provide answers to humanity's questions about the world.
Speaking of which, how is the negotiation progressing, High Priest?
The clerks have prepared the necessary documents, stating that the Arsacid Empire will become our vassal state in exchange for our protection. Once you add your signature, the contract will be sealed.
There is no need. The treaty is now null and void. Disseminate my orders. Instruct our soldiers to besiege the city. We shall capture Obed, seize the tower, and claim the library for Japheth, the library of the gods. I never realized that such a wondrous place truly existed in this world.
Your Highness?
I understand your perplexity, General. While reneging on our word is dishonorable, let's consider the fact that the Arsacid Empire is corrupt, and its emperor is an imbecile. If they attempt to exploit the power within the tower for nefarious purposes in the future, I believe you comprehend my concerns, Sarvis. Only Japheth possesses the power to safeguard this marvel from the unworthy.
A cloud of dust rises from the distant road.
A swift horse is approaching, Your Highness. The rider appears to be a messenger.
Bring him to me.
Greetings, Your Highness.
Rise. From where do you hail? And what tidings do you bring?
Your Highness, you commanded my unit to escort the God of the Sun back to Javril. Several days ago, we arrived at Ephrathah on the eastern shore of the Philistine Sea, which is under Herod's dominion.
I know. Herod is one of my father's numerous vassals. Did he show any disrespect toward you?
No, quite the contrary. He treated us with great respect and insisted warmly that we stay at his royal court for the night. Then, at midnight, while we were sleeping, we were awakened by a radiant glow outside the palace. We went to investigate, and, to our astonishment, the sun had risen beneath the stars.
Did the wine addle your senses? What nonsense are you talking about?
What I speak is the truth, Your Highness. We witnessed it with our own eyes.
Go on. Tell me what happened.
Well, my servants, the soldiers slumber now. Now it's time for you to fulfill your promise to me. And should you dare to deceive me, your suffering will be 1,000-fold worse than your darkest nightmare.
Disregarding the blades pressed against the throats the slaves from Memphis bow their heads.
Your Majesty, every word we speak is true. Our ancestors were once priests of Memphis, serving pharaohs for generations in the distant past. After the kingdom of pharaohs crumbled, we were exiled but fortunate enough to find shelter in your court. Our deepest secrets are never recorded, but passed down through oral tradition among our closest blood relations. Among them lies the secret of the god of the sun. During the era of Pharaoh Akhenaten, the priests discovered how to harness the power of the sun, bending it to the pharaoh's will. It is the language of the gods. Merely recite the divine words, and the sun will rise at your command. Through it, you shall attain divinity and achieve immortality, just as the ancient pharaohs did.
Horde sneers.
Yet you do not hesitate to share such deepest secrets with me.
It's precisely because you are a benevolent and generous ruler. That's why we're willing to reveal these secrets to you.
Skillfully, the slaves continue to persuade Herod.
Thurnus is nothing more than a tyrant who has ravaged our lands. If it were not for your generosity, we would all be living as mere livestock now. Your Majesty, I cannot bear to see you continue to bow before that tyrant.
Benevolent? Generous? Such descriptions are rare, but you're correct about one thing. We are both kings, so why should I kneel before that tyrant and allow my country to be reduced to a mere province of Japheth?
Herod rises from his throne.
Very well. Let me see for myself if your claims hold true.
The lips of the slave kneeling below the throne curl into a silent smile. He murmurs softly, as if in prayer, at a volume only he can hear.
All deeds have consequences. All debts must be paid.
By this time, Herod has reached the copper sphere in the country yard, beginning to recite the so-called divine words as instructed by the slave. Oh boy. The lines on the surface of the sphere gradually illuminate, like the reopening of an eye that has been dormant for so long. A faint light emanates from the copper sphere, causing it to tremble gently and detach itself from the ground. Flame erupts from the sphere, unleashing waves of heat that disperse the cool night air. A small circular patch of dawn appears in the middle of Herod's garden. All eyes are filled with astonishment as the copper sphere ascends slowly towards the stars, shrinking in size even as if its lights grow brighter. It resembles a new star.
Arise, sun. From this moment onward, even the stars shall pale in comparison to the sun I have awakened!
Bro thinks he's God. Holy shit, man. Darius. 2,490 years before the world calendar. My body has grown accustomed to the sensation of time travel. Once again, my vision becomes clear. The empty library, illuminated by the candlelight within the fire pit, is filled with tiny specks of dust floating in the air. The serenity of the surroundings makes the intense moment of life and death seem as unreal as hallucinations.
I take back what I said about our director being an imbecile. Having a time machine at our disposal is actually pretty convenient.
Is that supposed to be a compliment?
Well, it depends on how you interpret what I'm saying.
Oh boy.
What? Finally done dealing with me? The former #1 director candidate?
Without responding, Zero grabs a thick scroll from the bookshelf and starts examining it. The unfurled scroll reveals unfamiliar glyphs, which are quite different from the previous Arsacid Empire text.
The Collected Letters of Obed Royal Family, Volume 3, Darius, the King of all Kings, written by a historian from the Obed court. The second half is blank. Looks like this volume is incomplete. It appears that we have indeed arrived in the era of Darius, around 500 years before the 5th Emperor's reign.
You mean the era when Obed still had control over the god of the sun? Zero notes.
That Emeon we encountered mentioned that Darius was the one who first brought Aten from Memphis to Obed. Sarvis also mentioned that Darius was the first ruler of Obed to harness the power of the sun.
I see. The fact that the Japheth soldiers didn't know the command to activate a 10 suggests that it had already been lost by their time. Compared to the era of Japheth, the era of Darius was closer to the era of a 10, which means Darius is more likely to know the command to activate a 10.
Besides, there's something else that concerns me. The giant we just encountered. Actually, we might have encountered it once before. Back in our time, when you entered the Tower of Babel and activated the dormant beacon, we came across something very similar, Sia.
Oh my god, that went fast. Memories flood back as I recall the giant standing in front of the monolith. Something doesn't quite match up though.
Indeed. The giant in our time was missing its lower half, so I can't say for sure if it's the same giant. Moreover...
Zero holds out her hand, revealing a fragment of a crown that fell from the giant.
According to Master Ninsar, it belonged to Darius. So, it must have come from this era.
A peculiar feeling washed over me. It is as if all the threads of time have intertwined into a massive knot somewhere in the depths of history. All the clues we've gathered so far are like scattered leaves from the same tree, and behind each leaf, we catch a glimpse of the blurry figure of Darius.
Sorry for interrupting your discussion, but that was the first time I saw that huge guy. So that giant has been after you? What did you do to anger it so much?
We didn't do anything.
The second time we met Sarvis, his attitude was completely different.
Dear Emeon, I bear no ill intentions. Have you forgotten our agreement?
We don't have enough information to understand the reason behind it yet.
One moment he wanted to kill us, and the next moment he was happy to see us.
Zero freezes as if she remembers something.
Just to confirm, when we met Sarvis for the second time, it was a month after our first encounter, right?
Exactly.
Did you figure something out, or...?
Erishan's words trail off as she seems to realize something as well. At that moment, I realized something too. There is only one situation that I can explain the drastic change in Sarvis's attitude, and there is only one miracle that matches his description of appeasing the wrath of the god of the sun. Athene was activated and then disactivated.
I'm afraid so. Sarvis didn't have a clue about a 10's activation during our first encounter, but in the second encounter, he mentioned that they had somehow appeased the wrath of the god of the sun. So during that month, a 10 must have been reactivated and turned into the star of Ephrathah. Sarvis also said that we delivered divine words and saved the world from destruction. It means that we were the ones who helped deactivate a 10, extinguishing the star of Ephrathah.
But we don't even know the command yet. The two of them exchange a glance, staying quiet for a few seconds.
Remember what Inky said?
Be careful. The prophecy may actualize itself.
Actions taken to prevent tragedy can end up causing it. Now I understand that Sarvis wasn't exaggerating when he said we saved the entire world from destruction. Imagine what would happen if a fusion reactor continues to increase its power output without being shut down. We obtained the command and delivered it to Sarvis. However, it wasn't us from the present. Rather, it was us from some point in the future. Because of our time travels, the prophecy actualized itself.
Ah, shit, so we messed it up. Yeah, I knew it. The butterfly effect, yeah. We must move on.
Sure.
There is no other choice.
Now we're not just responsible for saving the library in our era, but also saving the world in Sarvis's era.
We must move on and find the command to deactivate R10 and deliver it to Sarvis. If we fail, both eras will veer off their intended paths and collapse completely.
What will happen then?
I'm not going to answer that. There are a bunch of geezers in Emeon who specialize in time paradoxes. I've never paid attention to their lectures. All I know is that it would be very, very, very bad.
Yeah, time paradox is always a bad thing. That's why I love it so much. It messes up with everything, but it's still awesome. Erishan's coughs and strides ahead. A sense of intense unease starts creeping into my mind. Are we moving forward by our own will, or are we being manipulated by an invisible force called destiny? No one can answer that question. Well, the only way is forward. Well, I just said all the way is forward, yet I go backwards. I contradict my own words, eh?
Who are those people?
Judging by their attire, they must be the Immortal Army, Darius's Praetorians.
Of course I know that, but why are there so many Immortal Army soldiers wandering inside the library in this era?
Well then.
Your Majesty, please forgive us. We are devoted to you.
Hey! They can't even hear us. Never mind. Let's keep going. We'll surely find someone we can reason with, right?
Okay. What? Perry.
It's those pesky creatures again. Hey, use your time-stopping ability on them. Then let's be a bit more serious. Then let's be a bit more serious. Interesting fellow.
Damage.
Forgive all sins.
Halt! Oriel! Enough like the sacrifices hanging there.
Oh man. That was a one-shot move. Alright. Ready enough.
Then let's be a bit more serious.
So cool.
Then let's be a bit more serious.
Nice. Awesome.
This era, it's truly weird.
Obviously, those immortal army soldiers have been wandering around inside the library for quite some time. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so worn out.
What exactly happened?
What about Emeons in this era?
The records about Emeon are not detailed, as their leader Pythagoras mysteriously vanished without a trace one day.
Emeon's historical records are all but blank during this era. There are simply too many coincidences happening in this era. We need to be extra cautious.
Okay. Keep going. Under the bright stars. 2,500 years before the world calendar.
The stars. They appear so distant, yet shine so brightly.
Your Majesty, Farhad requests an audience.
It is you, my most courageous servant. How does the wine taste at the celebration?
The wine was exquisite, benefiting the conquerors of Memphis. We all wonder why you didn't join us in the Great Feast of Honor. Why do you remain secluded in this corner, far from the bonfire, without even a single guard? Have we done anything to displease you?
Not at all, Fahad. I'm pleased with your valor. After this battle, I've annexed the southern reaches of the world into my domain. I'm staying away from the crowds to gaze at the stars. The campfire's brightness would obscure their light. Have you ever considered where our conquest will end, Fahad?
No, Your Majesty. I shall fight wherever you deem necessary, until the farthest reaches of your dominion touch the sea, or until I fall on the battlefield.
Your loyalty is commendable, but what I'm seeing now is even more distant than the sea. There was an Emian scholar named Pythagoras who told me that according to his research, the land beneath our feet is a sphere.
A sphere? How is that even possible?
You're not a scholar, so it is understandable that you can't imagine it. However, I can easily imagine that there may exist countless such spheres suspended high above the heavens. We call those spheres stars. The notion that these stars are fragments of Earth adrift in the firmament. So many uncharted territories awaiting conquest. Do you understand my feelings, Fahad? In comparison, Memphis, no, even the entirety of Obed, pales in significance. I wonder how I can travel to those stars to conquer those lands no one has ever seen. How pathetic is a man so bound by his desires. From now on, I shall find no peace in my nights.
Fret not, your majesty. We, the immortal army, will always be your keenest blades. Even if you were to command us to conquer the moon, we would comply without hesitation.
You truly are my favorite servant, Fahad. Arise, for I shall share my glory and dreams with you. One day we'll leave our footprints across the entire expanse of the sky.
The great emperor reaches out his hands towards the sky. Yet the touch of his fingers is chillingly cold. Slowly, the aged emperor sits up in his bed.
So, it was but a dream. I'm feeling cold. Am I already so old that I'm plagued by such vivid dreams? I used to believe that only the inept dream, for they possess nothing in reality. Is the heavens telling me that I'm no different from those commoners?
Yes, you are human, as they all are.
My time is running out.
You're just human, so yeah.
Emeons, I am summoning you to demand an answer I have long awaited. A decade has passed since my triumph in Memphis. I have given you so much time to unravel the mysteries of the God of the Sun. My subjects comply with my commands, never disturbing your research or prying into your tower. Only during the 6th and final month of each year do my emissaries visit you to ask about the progress of your research. You should know that it is a supreme honor, and that I have shown you extraordinary generosity, which no other Obed emperors have ever bestowed upon you. However, my messengers disappointed me every time, as your response of nothing has remained unchanged. Now, I've decided to ask you this question myself. This is your 10th year. Have you learned more about the nature of that copper sphere? What grants it immortality?
Your Majesty, our answer remains the same. You may perceive 10 years as a considerable length of time. For a human life, it is indeed substantial. However, for those devoted to the pursuit of knowledge, it is merely a fleeting moment akin to the evaporation of morning dew. Undoubtedly, that sphere represents a creation that transcends the limits of human understanding. Even if it is not a deity in its own right, its creator must possess divine qualities. We need more time to figure out its true essence.
Time. Time. What extravagant request. I, too, would grant you more time if I were able. Unfortunately, the time given to me is dwindling. The sand in the hourglass is running out. I am growing old, and my time is slipping away, while the boundless, unconquered worlds still await me. I am asking you once again, Emeon, do you indeed have nothing to give?
Your Majesty, I hold you in the highest regard, but I must inform you that neither your Majesty nor your power hold sway within the realm of knowledge. Though you may command all on Earth to declare that the sun rises in the west, it will still be the eastern sky that illuminates the next dawn. I can assure you that we're more eager than you to learn the nature of the sphere. It is the calling of the scholar.
I see. You're unable to offer what I seek in exchange for my leniency. I extend my regrets to you, Emeon. Since the beginning of history, this will be the first time the Emperor of Obed resorts to violence against Emeon. If I had a choice, I wouldn't wish to make this decision.
You may rule over this land, Your Majesty. And while you may intimidate those who seek knowledge, the laws governing knowledge itself do not yield to mere might.
Immortal army, at my command, open this tower and seize their library! If this library is as miraculous as the legends proclaim, containing the sum of all worldly knowledge, it must surely hold the secret to immortality and the immortal power of that copper sphere. Since the mouthpieces of the gods remain silent to my request, I'll uncover the answer myself.
We can't prevent you if you're determined to do so, Your Majesty. Permit me, however, to offer a final piece of advice. The gods remain silent due to the folly of humankind.
That was the last question I will ever pose to you. From now on, you are no longer permitted to address me. Immortal army, storm their tower and breach their gates. Emeon, I have heard tales that the paths within the Library of Babel are more numerous than the stars in the sky, and the smallest misstep can lead to eternal wandering. I've also heard you've devoted countless time and lives to explore that library, and that you've even familiarized yourself with a number of safe paths. I command you to lead the way for my warriors, and you have no right to refuse.
Farhad. I look at the two ladies in front of me who are deep in thought. There are so many immortal army soldiers. Maybe we can find someone who we can reason with.
You're right. If we can find a reasonable soldier or an Imaeon of this era, perhaps they will tell us what has happened here. Let's go. We don't have much time.
And go we shall.
Then let's be a bit more serious.
Wait, isn't that the shoddy artifact that wouldn't even start? So is it working now?
Oh, okay. Cool. Thanks. Yes. Oh, they're all just dead now. Deader than dead. Is it only one chest? Where do you even see it, man? Okay, I saw it yesterday. I can't see it now though. Weird. Very weird though. Very weird though. Anyways, continue. Onwards. Oh, is it working this time? Yes, it is. The time when it was still working. Great. Direito da Zekure. Okay.
The main path is blocked.
In moments like this, it's time to show some innovation.
Okay, I see the chest. Alright. Simple enough. No path overhead. Gotta go around the thing.
Interesting fellow.
There are still people over there.
I don't expect to find any living people we can reason with, but let's go check it out anyway.
Let's go get into some fights, eh?
Getting a bit boring.
Right. What? Oh, okay. The only surviving soldier's eyes are unfocused. Stance looks unsteady, and his weapon pointed at us is shaken.
Please lower your weapons. We mean no harm.
Who are you?
We are Imaeons.
My name is Farhad. I can't see you well. I
Farhad.
thought you were monsters too. Thank you so much. I didn't expect your help, especially after His Majesty gave that order.
His Majesty? Are you talking about Emperor Darius?
Of course. Were you not there when His Majesty gave the order? His Majesty ordered the Immortal Army to take over the Tower of Babel and the Library of Babel. How long ago was that? 1 year or 2 years? I can't remember clearly.
Bro went insane. He wanted the secret of immortality, so he was mad.
This is not a library. It's an endless nightmare. Ever since I got here, I've been praying for the gods to wake me up from this living hell.
Take over? You barged into the library? No wonder. It's actually impressive that you've held on for so long without any preparation. Why did your Emperor send you here to die?
Our mission is to uncover the truth about the god of the sun in Memphis. His Majesty has given the Emeon years, and yet there have been no results. Eventually, he ran out of patience. Personally, I don't have anything against you. We're puzzled too. It's hard to understand why His Majesty, who's always been a profound thinker, would act that way.
He's scared. He doesn't want to die.
Emeon, I know it may sound brazen, especially after we barged into your tower. But I'm asking you to take me back to His Majesty. The immortal army shall never fail His Majesty.
What a coincidence. We're actually searching for your Emperor as well. How about you join us? With you on our side, he might be more open to hearing us out.
Okay. The king of all kings.
So, what does your Emperor want to uncover about the god of the sun?
Even though the Emperor's brilliance can rival the sun itself, he can't accept that all things eventually come to an end. Rumor has it that the god of the sun of Memphis is immortal. Therefore, His Majesty wishes to unravel the secret to immortality, hoping to find methods that will grant him immortality. In this vast library, there must be a scroll or something that holds the key to harnessing the power of the god of the sun. His Majesty's goal is to conquer distant stars, and we, the immortal army, must find that divine scroll.
Escort Farhad safely to the throne. Alright. Farhad will take damage from monsters if trapped. Farhad dies, the mission fails. Okay. Use Dependent's ability to help Farhad reach the throne safely. Huh, okay. So, like this. Nope. There we go. On you go, on you go. Right. On you go, Farhad. On you go. Go. No damage. Okay, second part.
Those who betrayed His Majesty shall remain silent forever.
Hey, are you all right?
No. His mental state has irreversibly deteriorated.
No comment.
I apologize, esteemed Emeons. I wasn't myself.
Sit down and take a break. You don't have to put up a strong front here, because there's no Emperor who requires your worship.
I appreciate your kindness, but I don't deserve forgiveness. I made a solemn vow to His Majesty that I would never stop my journey until his realm reached the ends of the world. Yet here I am, empty-handed, a disgrace to His Majesty's glory. I feel ashamed to admit that I've known for a while that my time would come soon. But His Majesty once said he would share his dreams and glory with us. I want to return to His Majesty's throne before drawing my last breath. Please, don't let my journey end here.
I can lend you a shoulder.
Thank you for your generosity. Although I can't see your face now, I'll always remember your kindness.
Well, I have nothing to say to a blind loyalist like him. Take good care of him.
Alright.
Looks like you've run into a bit of trouble.
This place feels familiar. The device in the center should be able to take us down below. The correct switch is hidden under the tome that glorifies His Majesty.
Christ switch is hidden under the tome that glorifies His Majesty. What is this tome? Oh, I see no tome here. Photo. Oh. I can't go down. That's for sure. Can I read this? Let's go in front of. Here? Yeah, okay. I just have to read what's written there. Alright.
Gods, if you actually exist,
Interesting fellow.
why did you stay silent when His Majesty asked his questions?
Blooming from the flames. In the name of Florence. The fire is burning.
Nearly there. Come on.
That shape. It's His Majesty's throne. Thank you for bringing me here. His Majesty is just ahead.
I hope it's not that monster that attacked us. That kept on attacking us. This defendant, and I'm sure he's definitely going to die.
That's Farhad, a member of the scout squad. Maybe he's found something. Hurry! Bring him before His Majesty!
Blooming from the flames. In the name of Florence. The fire is burning.
Why are you looking so exhausted, General Farhad? What happened to you? What did you do to him?
Behave yourselves. If it weren't for these Emeons, I would have died long ago on the nameless land. I'll inform His Majesty of your achievements, Emeon. Soon, you'll see that Farhad always keeps his promises. And His Majesty is a generous and benevolent ruler.
Let us assist you.
Stand back. No need. I've witnessed the distant and boundless lands with His Majesty when you were just babies. If I need help with even a few steps, how am I supposed to follow His Majesty to the ends of the stars?
But after taking only a few steps, Farhad falls into his knees.
What is happening? Why can't I move on?
Slowly, the Emperor rises from his throne.
I'm so ashamed to request that your Majesty descend from your throne.
With measured steps, Darius approaches Farhad.
Your Majesty, please!
Holy shit! His words were abruptly cut off as Darius swings his sharp blade and blood sprays out in a crimson arc. What the hell, bro? With a quick flick of his blade, Darius steps over the body and walks towards us. He never looked at the face of the soldier, as though what he just slaughtered was nothing more than a worthless lamb. Very silent.
You're in no position to tell me how to punish my soldiers, outsider. Those who have failed me are no different from deserters, and this is what happens to deserters.
You're a piece of shit, you know that, right? You're just a tyrant. Darius turns to the man next to him.
By the
I didn't even
Loris,
say anything.
are they your companions?
No, Your Majesty, although their clothes resemble mine, I've never seen them before.
We're not Emaons from this world. We come from the future, 2,500 years from now.
A funny joke. Unfortunately, it comes at an inopportune moment. Those who dare to mock me must be punished.
Please, wait, Your Majesty. The wonders of the Library of Babel surpass the wildest imagination of mortals. Here, it is possible to encounter someone from a past or future era. For the sake of your lives, strangers, if you too are Emians like me, show your proof.
Zero, that thing. Zero nods at me and takes out the fragment.
This is a fragment from your crown.
Indeed it is. Where did you get this weathered fragment from?
From 2,500 years in the future. By then, it had become an antique.
I see how he turned into a monster. He was trying to achieve immortality, but he failed miserably and turned into a monster. Is that it?
Interesting. Let's assume what you said is true. Answer me this. Who rules over Obed 2,500 years from now?
I can't answer your question, because Obed has no need for a ruler that far in the future.
I see. You can't provide me what I desire either. Lead the way forward, Pythagoras. As for these useless freeloaders, get rid of them, my soldiers.
Really? Okay. Darius turns around as the immortal army soldiers spread out, form in a semi-circle and slowly advancing.
Ari.
Erechan sighs, undeterred by the spearheads of the immortal army soldiers, walks up to Darius and bows to him. What?
Your Majesty, please forgive our rudeness.
You know your manners, but your courtesy comes too late.
It's true that Obed won't need a ruler in the future, because by that time, Obed will be insignificant compared to your vast empire. We don't need anyone specifically to rule over it. The fragment you just saw is a gift you gave us yourself.
You mean you've seen me 2,500 years later? Do I still rule over my vast empire?
Yeah, of course.
How did I survive until then in the future? Tell me, now!
Gladly, but we want something in return.
Darius sneers, looking down upon Erechan.
Even those who call themselves the mouthpieces of the gods are nothing more than mere mortals after all. Your wish is granted. All the wealth in my treasury and all the provinces in my domain are yours for the taking.
Damn.
We don't want wealth or fiefdoms. We just want to know what you know about the god of the sun.
How interesting. That's the very same question I've been asking you, Emaons, for years. But why is an Emaon from the future asking me this question instead?
You seek the secrets of the god of the sun because you're eager to know the secret to immortality, right? We discovered its mysteries once. However, over the long years since then, many details of our research have been lost. That's why we're coming back from the future, to get the missing pieces. You've been to Delphi during your expedition, and I believe you've heard the stories about Oedipus that go around there. In the loop made by time, the result and the cause will become one. You'll need to tell us everything you know about the god of the sun, so that we'll be able to get you the full answer. That's the only way we can help you survive the next 2,500 years. In the distant future, you've gifted us the token so that we could return here to figure out the truth about immortality.
A lot of convoluted way around things.
Nothing but lies. Myths are for ignorant children. Do you think I'm as gullible as a child? I've found ludicrous loopholes in your words. Since the me in the future already knows the secret to immortality, why didn't that me ask you to tell me the secrets directly? Immortal army!
In an instant, we are surrounded by sharp blades.
Those who deceive me will pay with their lives.
Erechan remains composed.
Of course, you can just kill us, Your Majesty. But at the moment we're killed, the casual loop in the timeline will be severed. If you don't learn the secret to immortality now, you, your empire, and all the feats you will achieve in the future will simply go up in smoke.
Pythagoras raises his eyes and studies Erechan. It seems he is about to say something, but in the end, he just shakes his head gently.
Are you threatening me, Emaon?
Erechan looks straight up to Darius.
No. As a scholar, I'm simply telling you what might happen because of your actions. Whether to trust us or kill us on the spot, the choice is up to you. I'm sure you already have an answer in your mind.
Well, indeed. A nasty tone unique to Emaon. Lay down your weapons.
The soldiers immediately put away their weapons.
Listen well. I sent my people to collect many ancient documents and summon many scholars while I was in Memphis. But the destruction of the Ketaton was so complete that very little information survived. Despite my efforts, I only figured out one piece of information from the ancient records. The language of the gods is a palindrome.
The language of the gods is a palindrome? What does that mean?
Legend has it that Akhenaten deciphered the language of the gods and thus learned how to harness the sun. The language consists of a huge number of palindromic words. While they are written exactly the same forwards and backwards, they cause the god of the sun to perform very different behaviors. That's all I know. I didn't have access to the vocabulary. As soon as I returned to Obed, I shared this discovery with your companions, the Amazons of this era. But unfortunately, it didn't help them with the task I assigned them. Now it's your turn. Tell me, have you figured out the secret to immortality?
Have you found the secret, Erichan? With elegance, Erichan stands up and brushes the dust from her jacket. Her expression, usually filled with sarcasm, now shows extraordinary confidence.
Are. Huh? What are you talking about? The secret to immortality? It does not exist!
She runs straight towards me.
What are you waiting for, Director? We've got the information. Now it's time to make a run for it.
How dare you?
Damn, bro. Back to 2,000 years ago. Okay, we got the words. Alright, keep going. I'm starting to get tired. I need to go to sleep. It's 5 a.m. Damn. This is why I don't like starting recording late. I was busy editing all day, so... The last expedition.
Don't you dare run away! How dare you deceive me!
Your Majesty, please calm down. Your Majesty.
The shouts of the Praetorians become distance. Darius gazes down as blood flows around his feet, steaming from the blade in his hand. Excuse me. The shiny mirror-like blade reflects a familiar stranger back at him. Darius fixated on the reflection for a prolonged moment before exhaling deeply. His voice regains composure, though an underlying madness remains.
I am Darius, the great king of Obed, the king of all kings! I shall bestow grace upon the faithful and punish the disloyal!
He discarded the blade in his hand and raised his scepter high once more.
Heed my command, my immortal army! Hunt down those aliens!
I don't think you can, bro. You need to survive for 500 years. Oh, wait! You're gonna die, or you're gonna turn into a monster in this case.
From this place to the end of the world! From this moment until the end of their lives! All yours!
The king of all kings and his army begins their march. Finally, one day, one of the preparators gathers in his courage and steps forward.
You have ventured too far, Your Majesty. If we continue, we may not be able to return. The paths ahead, not even the Emians have explored them.
Emions! Always those babbling Emions! Why would I, the king of all kings, need someone else to pioneer my new territories?
Your arrogance knows no bound, Your Highness.
Wherever I go, it is my domain. And whatever I say, my words shall shine like the sun. From this day on, cease all support of those Emions. We don't need those false mouthpieces of the gods.
Is that so?
But, Your Majesty, what about Pythagoras?
The king of all kings just glanced back at him.
I won't repeat myself.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Ma'am, they're doomed to die. The king of all kings and his army continues their march. However, fatigue and hunger prove to be the deadliest weapon of all. As resolute as the immortal army may be, silence pervades their ranks with each passing day. Their voices diminish and their numbers wane. Yet Darius remains unwavering. Unaware of the distance traveled, they unexpectedly encountered another group of seekers.
You are...
Nameless Eminence Seeker.
Please, spare us. I beg you.
Oh, shoot. Such things happen occasionally to determine the detriment of honor, but this cannot be helped.
Take away their supplies, spare the strong, and destroy the old and the weak.
Damn, bro.
What is happening? Why do you defy my orders? Have you forgotten what happened when we crossed the Memphis Desert? If we hadn't plundered the caravan, it wouldn't have been us celebrating under the magnificent waterfalls of the Memphis River.
Bro, just tired.
Carry on. We have a lot.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Excuse me, I'm drinking water. My throat hurts. This is yet another expedition. No different from all expeditions before. equally long, equally solitary, and equally ruling. However, Darius remains certain that he will ultimately reach his goal and emerge triumphant. For the Immortal Army journeys alongside him, their loyalty as steadfast as ever.
Let's station ourselves here today. It looks like we're running low on food. Soldiers, kill my horse. What's the meaning of this? Why the hesitation? Have you forgotten what happened when we attacked Delphi the first time? And that time I slaughtered my horse so that we could cross frigid Mount Medicus? This is no different. Come, I shall share the horse's flesh with all of you once more.
Goodbye, horse. But why? Why is the only one willing to consume the meat in his hand?
My warriors. My warriors.
Darius continuing matching the... Sorry, I had to drink, bro. The Emians remain elusive, but he is certain they are hiding nearby. Darius acknowledges that his days are limited. Even his most loyal Praetorians speculate on how much longer the Emperor can endure. It has been a considerable amount of time since they last spoke to him, yet he senses his soldiers whispering, suspecting that one day he might suddenly collapse and never wake up. What a ridiculous speculation. Darius no longer looks backward, for there is nothing but feeble doubts and apprehension left. His followers no longer warrant his attention. He will prevail, just as he has in every war thus far. He will endure until the very end of the world.
Halt here. We need a break once in a while. I grant you a brief reprieve. These books on the shelves are unlike any I've seen before.
The glyphs on the pages are unfamiliar, distinct from those used in Ovid. They differ from the languages of all the people he had encountered during his conquests.
No matter. One day I will conquer their lands. Remember what I said, Fahad? I shall share my glory and dreams with you.
You kill him.
Armor me, Fahad, my most loyal friend. Let's embark on our odyssey. Our expedition must not stop here. Fahad, if you choose not to accompany me on this quest, it's all right. I permit you to turn back and return home.
You kill him.
It is a king's duty to forge ahead. As my subject, your duty is to spread news of my accomplishments throughout the world. Go back, Fahad. Whether in life.
In the trance, Darius hears a faint sigh.
Fahad.
The nameless tyrant continues to march forward. It knows with certainty that many have vanished along the way. It no longer calls out to its Praetorians, for doing so is futile. It cares not where those cowards have fled. If the king's path is too arduous for mortals, then the king shall proceed alone to the end. Having pillaged traders, slain its horse, and utilized all of the available resources along its path, the nameless tyrant marches forward on its own unending journey. Even in its resolute state, it occasionally experiences hallucinations. It feels as though a part of itself is dissipating, transforming into something else. Such is a sign of dehydration, an ordeal it endured during a sea voyage across the Philistine Sea. Back then, it and its army were lost in a storm, and all the fresh water had been consumed. However, did it and its army escape death? It can no longer recall. The only thing that remains within its soul is the desire to press onward. But why must it continue to march forward? Oh right, it wants to find the secret of immortality. It wants to become immortality itself, and it wants to take revenge on certain MINs who have deceived it. But why does it seek?
We will leave our footprints across the entire expanse of the sky.
But why does it seek the secret of immortality? It closes its eyes. That brilliant canopy of stars, along with its steely ambitions, has long since faded. Thus, the grandest vision has been twisted into the most grotesque desire. The nameless tyrant finally comes to a halt. How much time has elapsed since the expedition began, and how far has it traveled? There is no way to ascertain the answer. The unit year is inadequate to measure the passage of time during this interminable journey. Only the visage of those deceitful Emeons grows clearer in memory. It must unleash its wrath and retribution upon them, making known the might and majesty of the king. It has grown accustomed to this peculiar library. It has traversed numerous corridors, rooms, and staircases seamlessly, blending with the library's surroundings. Emeon, I have come this far without your guidance. Immortal army, I have endured without your companionship. Strange visions still arise, but they no longer cloud its mind. The tyrant once saw a mirror that did not reflect its face, but instead displayed a strange and imposing figure with a cold gaze, like that of a mythical giant. As long as its gaze, oh my god, it just does that from time to time, it skips. As long as it gazed into the mirror, the reflection stared back at it. In astonishment, the tyrant realizes that it saw the very same visions reflected in a blood-stained blade long ago. No words are spoken, and the reflection remains silent until the tyrant departs. At times, the tyrant reminisces about the distant past days when it and Pythagoras were still friends. Pythagoras shared rare pieces of knowledge with it, one of which still echoes in his mind.
Probability fears time.
And so the nameless tyrant resumes its march onward. In the vast expanse of time, it anticipates an encounter with those who deceive it, awaiting a minuscule, incredibly remote, yet not impossible chance of meeting them once more. Returning to 2,000 years ago. Circa 2,000 years before world calendar. Darius' furious roars swiftly dissipate, fading into faint ripples in the river of time. As ripples disperse, tranquility is restored to the surroundings. Zero quickly examines volumes of literature on a nearby bookshelf.
This is Sarvis's era.
We're back here.
Something seems to be on your mind. That I've really got something to say look on your face is pretty rare.
I think I figured out why we've been entangled with Darius. Now I'm certain that the giant we encountered when we first entered the library and the one we saw during our second meeting with Sarvis are one and the same, Sia. It is Darius.
Yeah, he just wants revenge because we lied to him. That thing doesn't resemble a human in any way. Zero closes her eyes.
This library is alive and has its own wisdom. That's what Elish, the first director of the library, once said. Therefore, visitors should stay quiet, humble, and cautious within the library. It is not recommended to speak, write, or daydream, for words and ideas carry. The library is an anomaly, after all. It may give incredible responses to obsessive thoughts.
The echoes of Darius' shout reverberate in my ears once again.
Don't you dare run away! How dare you deceive me!
In addition to anger, there was unrestrained fear and despair in his voice. It is as if a man is grasping at the last straw, only to find that it is turning into dust.
We deceived a man of extraordinary strength, of willpower. Obsessive ideas may stir up billowing waves in this ocean of thoughts.
So you're saying that the library distorted Darius, turning him into the giant that has been chasing us around? If that's the case, it explains why he hated our guts so much. After all, we shattered his world with that devastating lie. Hold on a sec. So, we lied to Darius, and after he got distorted by the library, he stayed here for all those thousands of years, just to get revenge against us? According to our time machine, you met the giant before you met me. Thanks to him, our time machine met the future me, and heard the prophecy. And that's how we started this totally messed up journey, right? How ironic.
We went to Darius because we had already met him. Cause and effect become one in the Library of Babel. It's a loop.
Why are you giving me that look?
No, it's nothing. Just don't leave my sight without my permission, Ari.
What are you talking about? That's a weird thing to say. Quit using that tone with me.
looking at Erichan's disgusted face, I understand why Zero suddenly became silent. From the beginning, we have been faithfully following the direction of destiny, like cogs in a well-oiled machine. Whether it is searching for Tasni, arriving in the era of the 5th Emperor, or going in search of Darius, everything seems predestined. So, if this journey continues, will Erichan die under Athens' blazing radiance, just like I saw? Once again, the image of her dissolving within the radiance comes unbided to my mind. Ere.
Shut up!
Oh,
Hey, what's with that look on your face? Stop it, it's making me sick. I'm not going to follow this so-called prophecy. But with the current situation, we have to continue this loop. Remember, the fate of 2 eras rests on our shoulders. Next, if our time machine gets things right, we should be at a point between our 2 encounters with Sarvis. We must inform him about the divine words at this point. Since someone in this era activated a 10, the divine words must exist in this era. If he can find the person who activated a 10, he'll naturally get the command to stop it. If everything goes smoothly, we'll put a stop to a 10. No, the Star of Ephrathah, before it burns everything in this era to ashes.
You do have a kind soul.
Try saying that again!
Our banter sweeps away the tense atmosphere. However, I have a vague feeling that something's wrong. If everything is a part of this loop, who actually activates Aten in the future? Why was it only Erichan facing Aten in the future? Why weren't Zero and I there with Erichan in the future? Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to find the answers.
Someone's coming. Those are Dathat soldiers.
Looks like they're in a tough spot too.
Interesting fellow.
I never expected someone to come to my rescue. Thank you so much. Wait, you're the Emians who escaped from Lord Sarvis before?
So what if we are? Are you planning to capture us and hand us over to your general?
No, we Jafethians are anything but ungrateful. Anyway, it's good to see you. We've been searching for you.
Sarvis just won't leave us alone, huh?
That's not the case, Emian. Lord Sarvis has encountered an extraordinary problem, and he says only Emians can solve it.
As I thought.
This
And what are we waiting for? Lead the way.
I'm sorry, but when we enter this infinite library again, we got separated from our general. I have no clue where he could be now. The path ahead takes us back to where we came from. Let's head in that direction.
Aren't you coming with us?
As you can see, my squad has been decimated. With all the dangers lurking here, we shouldn't burden you with protecting us. Please, hurry to the general as soon as possible.
Let's go.
We're entering the unknown sector.
Finding someone in the unknown sector. This is simply a living nightmare. Let's hope that general didn't go too deep.
I'm confused. What is this? What? Use the pendant power to freeze fast forward in text. Yes, okay, I know that, but I do that, nothing happens. How do I put it forward though? I can't do that, I'm on PC, so this road that forms an incomplete circle is the right way. Is that so? Does that mean this is the right way?
The unknown sector has changed, so the rules we know
Okay,
might not
that's
apply anymore.
Interesting. Very weird, but okay. Oh, complete health. Huh. What the fuck is this? Has 3 sides, right? Assumed it's this way? I think this is the way. It looked like it had 3 sides, so I was wrong.
That is the wrong way.
Yeah, figured as much. I'm confused on how that works.
No room for error.
Confused, honestly.
This hellhole is truly unpredictable. We need to figure out new rules before finding a way out.
This road that's rotated counterclockwise. That's clockwise, clockwise. So I saw the counterclockwise. Okay. I see how it works. So you just stop it and you read what it says, and that's the right.
The one surrounded up ahead is.
Yeah, okay. It's simpler
Let's
than
wait
I
until
thought.
he's worn out,
stupid.
and then we'll have a perfect chance to strike.
Inspiration.
Hey, why are you giving me that look? All right, fine. We'll rescue him.
Oh, it's you. Thank you for your help, Emeans. I apologize for my rudeness earlier, and I would like to do my best to clear up the misunderstanding I caused. But I'm afraid we don't have time for that now.
Looks like you've run into a bit of trouble.
Blooming from the flames. In the name of Florence.
That's what. Damn.
Allow me to get straight to the point. Do you happen to know how to deactivate the God of the Sun?
That's why we're here. That's what we're here for. To deactivate the damn thing. 3 kings.
Did someone activate that sphere?
I'm afraid so. According to our plan, we delivered it to the Philistine Sea to get it loaded on a ship and then transfer it to Javriel. However, it passed through one of our vassal states on its way back. To my astonishment, the ruler there, Herod, had the audacity to lay his finger on it. It was only afterward that we learned that quite a few servants in Herod's kingdom had been exiled from Memphis, and some of them had even served as priests in Memphis. They knew a number of secrets that had been passed down from generation to generation by word of mouth. Not even Lord Thurinus or Emperor Darius had learned about them when they conquered Memphis. Those Memphians stirred up Herod's greed, making him believe that he could awaken the god of the sun like the ancient pharaoh Akhenaten did, and thus be elevated to the status of a god.
How ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Truth is, the Memphian slaves hate him for his brutality and wanted to use this chance to take revenge. They didn't think about the catastrophic consequences it would bring. Unfortunately, Herod killed all those slaves once he obtained the divine words, so nobody else could ascend to the divine throne like him. By the time we arrived, the copper sphere was already levitating and burning over Herod's capital city, Ephrathah. We apprehended Herod before the city was razed to the ground. However, he only knows how to activate the sphere, and he didn't ask for the command to deactivate it. Now, with the death of the last Memphian priests, the secrets are lost forever.
That's stupid.
If that copper sphere continues to burn, one day the Philistine Sea will dry up, and even Jezreel, the Eternal City, will end up in flames.
Sarvis gives me a pleading look.
Fortunately, I had met you in the Library of Babel. I remembered you had mentioned that the copper sphere could be deactivated. So, we rushed back here to seek your help. Such is the situation. If you know how to stop this world from ending up in flames, I'm willing to offer whatever I can in return.
He kneels before me, head bowed. We don't need any payment.
Hey, hold on.
Oh, the language of the gods is a palindrome. While they are written exactly the same, forwards and backwards, they cause the god of the sun to perform very different behaviors.
You've told him already?
The language of the gods is a palindrome.
Sarvis closes his eyes, ponders for a moment, then opens them again.
I understand. That'll do. Write the palindrome words in both directions, and the quill will go back to where it started. In other words, the command to activate the sphere is also the command to deactivate it. We just need to repeat the same word Herod used, and it will revert to its previous state. I can't believe this answer is so straightforward. I must return to Ephrathah immediately. But the thing is, we've lost a significant number of soldiers since entering the Library of Babel. I'm sorry, Hemaon, but I need your assistance once again. Could you escort me out of here?
Okay, guess we're going. Let's go.
The fire is burning.
I think she's his sister, like they're wearing the same thing. And their hair.
Our strength isn't enough to break through this gate.
This gate is heavy. Please stand back.
Are you gonna break it? Well, you're going slow.
Thank goodness we didn't find him earlier.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you because of the noise. What did you say?
Oh, it's nothing.
Damn, bro.
The fire is burning. Blooming from the flames. In the name of Florence.
I think I've been here before. The path on the right leads back to where I came from.
Jeez, not another one of those annoying stone gates.
Don't worry. My strength should be enough to break through it. However, I've just exerted a lot of energy. Give me a moment to catch my breath.
Fine. Take a step back, Sia.
They started following us before I even noticed. What a bunch of eyesores.
Looks like you've run into a bit of trouble. Interesting fellow.
A spark of inspiration!
Blooming from the flames. In the name of Florence.
Looks like you've run into a bit of trouble.
The door's been breached. Let's follow him and not waste time dealing with those creatures.
Finally, ahead is the sector I entered from. One must exit from where they entered. Such is the wise words from the Emaons who guided me here. Thank you for escorting me here.
Hey, Mr. General. Although we didn't request payment, it's okay to ask for a favor, right?
Of course. Just let me know whatever you want.
Well, when you go back and see Herod again, please make a copy of the divine words he tells you and give it to us.
Sarvis pauses for a moment, then nods.
Sure thing. That's a simple task. Once I resolve the troubles in Ephrathah, I'll come back and deliver the letter for you. Thank you for your generosity. I'll never forget it.
Please rest assured, Your Highness. Sarvis is one of the few generals who possesses both wisdom and bravery. He will be safe.
But he's been inside all night. I know it's prudent for us to stay out here. You've witnessed the enigmatic library yourself, as well as its labyrinth plucked from myths. Will Sarvis return safe and sound this time?
Your Highness, High Priest.
Sarvis, you're back!
Yes, and I bring good tidings. I found the peculiar Emeon I mentioned last time, and they instructed me how to deactivate the God of the Sun.
Excellent. This library truly holds the answers to all questions in the world.
The three of them face west. As dawn approaches, the Tower of Babel Castle oh my god, I'm starting to get sleepy. I need to go to bed soon, it's 5 a.m. Nearly 6 a.m. Casts a long shadow across the land, stretching to the other side of the world. However, the sun still clocked, and its sanguine hues is not the cause of the shadow. A solitary star emanates blinding light, causing the night retreat and its surrounding cloud to swirl tumultuously. In the distant future, humanity will remember the star that briefly illuminated history as Ephrata. Its radiance at this moment would mark the beginning of another legend.
High Priest Morari, do you still have a copy of the treaty with the Arsacid Empire?
I can have the scribe immediately draft a new one, Your Highness. What do you mean, Your Highness?
I will sign it. Tell our soldiers that we are no longer at war with Obed. Let's go back. Once we resolve the issue in Afrafta, we will make our way back home.
May I ask the reason behind your change of heart, Your Highness?
Look at that burning star. If there's anything like divine revelation in the world, it probably looks like that. Wouldn't you agree? No. Japheth is not ready to confront such power. My father has been invincible throughout his life. He forged his great empire in his 30s. I heard that he was frustrated at the thought of spending the remainder of his days governing, rather than conquering. However, I think governing is far more challenging than conquering. I'm always worried that if Japheth's armies keep crossing new frontiers, sooner or later, they'll meet an impenetrable presence. Father has never tasted defeat, and neither has Japheth. Father is aged, and Japheth has long grown accustomed to the countless triumphs he has achieved. If, one day, Japheth fails to sustain its momentum of conquest, if, one day, the tip of Japheth's spear finally shatters against a towering wall never before encountered, how do you think the people of Japheth would feel in such a moment? Pride renders one fragile, and when it breaks, it shatters the heart into pieces. Now, seeing that newborn star, I think we've reached a towering wall that casts its shadow over Japheth. Undoubtedly, there are forces in this world that surpass the limits of human imagination. This library, capable of harnessing even the power of that star, lies far beyond our dominion. We are not yet prepared to venture into the realm of gods.
I concur, Your Highness. It is time to head back. Since Emion has guarded his power for so long, let it be. There must be reasons why this tower has stood undisturbed for thousands of years. Until we understand those reasons, we must not disturb the balance. No, we shouldn't even touch it. It'd be best if all of us stayed away from it, neither to inquire nor to disturb it, lest it bring a catastrophe down upon us. While my words may appear disrespectful, His Majesty's order to retrieve the God of the Sun and the situation we are facing serve as compelling evidence.
I agree with your decision to retreat, Your Highness. However, if we ignore the blaze of the star and the impending destruction it brings, it is beautiful, like a real celestial body. Now we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that someone, or some being, crafted it. How extraordinary is it to craft a star? If I had the chance, I would love to see the hands that...
Sarvis lists out alongside.
Even if I am unable to witness it, I hope that my descendants will be blessed with this fortune.
Time to go. We have no time for sentimentality. Leave the recording of history to poets and scholars. As for us, let us restore the sky with its true sun.
I'd assume Florence is Sarvis's descendant, maybe. Now he talked about descendant, and that's the first thing that came to mind. Huh. Interesting. Lord of Blossoms. Sarvis is gone.
Now this farce can finally come to an end. Once we return to the time sector where we met Sarvis for the second time, we'll learn the divine words to stop at 10. What are you waiting for, Time Machine? Activate your magical time travel ability, all right?
I'm feeling a bit uneasy. The commands that activate and deactivate it are the same. For some reason, this information fills me with unease. A sense of foreboding grows in my mind. Who else knows the divine words beside us?
There's no point in thinking about that now.
In an unusual display of persuasion, Eri-chan sets aside her sarcasm.
This world has seen its fair share of ancient mysteries that have been passed down to the present, only to be used by people with ill intentions. Even if someone is trying to activate a 10, we now know how to deactivate it. That's all that matters.
Eri-chan's words carry comforting aura. Somehow her words dispel my doubts like an enchantment. I find my mind drifting into a state of trance. In the flickering candlelight, Zero narrows her eyes slightly.
Besides us, the only ones who know the secrets of anomalies, and might intend to use them, are Nemesis. Eri, you said you ran into them during your retrieval of R10, right?
Exactly. That's why I was wary of Seer.
What exactly is Nemesis?
All deeds have consequences. All debts must be paid.
Sounds rather intimidating.
That's their motto. How can I give you a brief explanation? To put it simply, here's the perfect example. Do you think something like a 10 should be known to the world? These artifacts possess the power of easily obliterating an entire civilization. You've witnessed the destruction of Eketaton and the war between Japheth and Obed. It merely revealed a fraction of its existence, and that was enough to change the course of the world. Countless people were frantically seeking it, whether it was for immortality, overthrowing another dynasty, or simply catching a glimpse of its eternal glory. Even in this era, where human intelligence supposedly reigns supreme, we no longer worship the god of the sun. Do you think the nuclear fusion reactor should be revealed to the people of this era? Will it bring about an energy revolution? Or just another war? Humans of every era believe their intelligence to be superior, yet they fall prey to the same mistakes time and time again. The power of the unknown is a sweet poison. Now you're well aware of that. That's why we've decided to hide its existence from the world.
To safeguard them from any intrusion or exploitation. Let it fade away, until its very existence falls into oblivion. That's the philosophy of us Emaon, and the philosophy of CAVE.
CAVE is in cave.
Emaon is merely the secret society watching over Obed. There are other organizations that share our ideals. For example, Florentine in Japheth, Waiter in Sion, and Delphic Oracle in Delphi.
Whoa, so there are different factions, yeah?
Well, we don't have time to delve into all this now. Once we leave here, you'll be formally introduced to the rest of the Alliance as the new director of Emaon, and you'll learn who they are for yourself.
Speaking of that, we need to mention another group of people. Not everyone shares the same attitude on such matters. There's another group. Well, they're not all a bunch of bad guys, but their philosophy differs from ours. While some people want to stow away unknown power, others want to exploit it. Nemesis belongs to the latter. They see it as something that can propel human civilization forward by hundreds of years, if thoroughly studied, and they see no reason to set it aside instead of utilizing it. As for how such actions may affect a society, they don't care at all.
Simply put, they're another bunch of charlatans who don't see eye to eye with you.
Your summaries are on point. I'm impressed. But have you forgotten that you're part of our crew now?
With the Library of Babel open, we Emaon have no means of stopping outsiders from invading the tower. However, if they were really to do that, they would just end up lost in an infinite ocean of information.
Zero purses her lips and looks thoughtfully at Eri-chan.
If only the future version of you had provided us with more information.
Oh, what? Blaming me again?
No, I have no intention of blaming you.
Zero stares intensely at Eri-chan.
You're smarter and more cautious than anyone else. It wasn't your style to deliver such an ambiguous message.
Eri-chan hesitates for a moment, then averts her eyes.
You're giving me too much credit.
Her gaze wanders until it lands on me.
Indeed. The journey with you is full of surprises at every turn.
Eri-chan looks into the distance, muttering.
Well, this trip is definitely not boring. Quit lazing around. Let's get moving.
Alright, going back to our time, yeah? Or not? Not yet. Just a few. Oh yeah, 2 weeks later, so we can get the thing from the dude. Oh yeah, this is where we left off. Okay, the giant that fell from the sky is chasing the version of me. Wait, the version of us from the past. We land exactly where the surface was at that time without any deviation. Although Sarvis is a bit surprised to see us appear out of nowhere, he doesn't ask questions.
Don't you ever wonder how two groups of the same people can show up at the same time?
I've witnessed too many miracles here, and I realize what's happening here is beyond my comprehension.
He salutes us.
Nonetheless, it's a pleasure to see you again. I'm certain you're the Emeons who once helped us.
Once again, Sarvis takes out parchment and presents it to us with both hands.
As promised, I've brought you a copy of the Divine Words.
Eri-chan takes the copy casually, looks at it, and then puts it away. Just as I am about to ask Eri-chan what's written on it, Sarvis steps forward.
Please allow me to express my gratitude once again for your generosity back then.
It's not really a big... by saving you, we were saving ourselves. Oh boy. Damn, bro. Slowly, Sarvis bows towards me and rests his forehead against my hand. Although I have no idea what this gesture means in his country, I can sense his obedience and respect through this courtesy.
I understand that you Emeons have your own principles of conduct and you don't want your deeds to be publicized. But I promise you, even if the people of Japheth don't know what they've been saved from, I'll never forget your heroic deed. I'll never forget your noble character and selflessness. If you ever find yourself in trouble in the future, I'll assist you in any way I can.
Thank you?
I, Sarvis, swear by my domain, Bellefontaine, the City of Blossoms. I, my family, and my descendants, we will always remember this oath.
He lifts his head, his violet eyes lock into mine, unwavering.
From now to eternity.
Alright, loyalty. That's good, I guess. Sarvis departs with his army without another word.
He's a pretty honorable man.
Zero, who has remained silent all this time, thoughtfully repeats the name that Sarvis mentioned.
Bellefontaine. Sarvis.
She closes her eyes.
So, he is the first leader of Florentine. Sarvis Florentine.
Yep, Florentine. Our girl.
I see. Our initial connection with Florentine was actually because of you.
Florentine.
Sometimes I wonder where you've been all these years. You don't even know about the Florentine Bank, which basically controls half of the continent's economy?
Damn.
Now's not the perfect time to explain everything about Florentine. Harry, show me the parchment that Sarvis just gave you.
What's the rush? Worried about losing it? I've already written it down anyway.
Eri-chan snorts slowly, retrieving the paper Sarvis gave her from her pocket. What's written on it? Eri-chan gives no answer. Instead, she simply let out a soft sigh.
Zero. You know what? I'm really grateful that you're the one who's been with me on this journey.
Eri-chan closes her eyes. What are you thinking? That moment she, not by my side, suddenly feels distant. I can't help but reach my hand out towards her.
And you too. The candid seer. Sometimes to the point of being foolish.
An ice-cold smile curls her lips. What are you thinking?
I'm glad I have you as my partners. That's why my plan went so smoothly.
What? Oh no, now I can't go to sleep. I need to know what's gonna happen. Bruh. What the hell just happened? Now I need to know. Wits End. Shredded scraps of paper flutter before my eyes. I reach out trying to grasp them, but not even a single piece lands in my hand. Amused by my awkward response, Eri-chan chuckles.
There were moments when I thought you might figure it out, but no. You just stayed at the edge of truth and refused to step forward. But why? Let me guess. Because you don't understand my motives, so you chose to turn a blind eye. How arrogant. Oh, Zero. Empty of everything. Void of emotions. Yet, in the end, you earned everything. See? You really don't understand the feelings of an underdog like me, do you? I am his granddaughter. I am the rightful heir to the library. But that day, he brought you back. And then you took everything away from me.
Are you done? Stop pretending to be a sad clown. That's not who you are. What do you really want?
Upon hearing Zero's resolute voice, Eri-chan freezes before bursting into laughter. Tears well up in the corner of her eyes as she laughs.
So that's not the answer you expected. I thought the motive of an underdog and her resentment would be perfect.
Your taste is really going downhill.
I see. That explanation wasn't enough for you. So, how about this?
Eri-chan sighs. All pretense dropped. She suddenly looks exhausted, overwhelmed. At this moment, I realize how little I truly know about the girl who has been by my side this whole time.
I'm simply tired of it all. MA on, CAVE, and this never-ending library. I've wanted to destroy everything here for a long time.
A flicker of emotional turmoil finally appears on Zero's face.
That's why I joined Nemesis.
No shit.
Yeah, you heard it right. I'm a spy for Nemesis.
Suddenly the ground beneath our feet trembles. Tremendous force is quickly approaching. I instinctively glance behind me and notice that Darius, the giant that chased the version of us from the past, turned back and has spotted us.
Oh, perfect timing. I'm sorry, but I'm not the type of archvillain who dies from talking too much. But you two? You're the fools who actually sit there and listen to your enemy's meandering monologues.
Once again, Eri-chan wields her crescent sight. Zero positions herself in front of me, but Eri-chan does not attack us. With a muffled sound, the floor cracks beneath our feet, spreading like a spiderweb.
Zero. You've become dull. Next time, when you feel something is off, just slit your opponent's throat instead of waiting around.
The giant roars, pushing towards us. The cracked floor falters under its weight, crumbling from its edges. At that moment, everyone near the edge of the room begins to fall. The breeze strikes my forehead, causing a sharp lightning-like pain that momentarily clouds my mind. Zero immediately makes her decision. She grabs my hand and holds me tightly, as Unsharp transforms into a massive golden bird, carrying both of us upward. Eri-chan, however, remains calm, letting her body fall into the bottomless void. Instinctively, I reach out my hand towards Eri-chan. Why? That's it? That's what you said. My vision blurred by the breeze. Instead, I see her with remarkable clarity, wearing a relieved smile like the last radiance of a dying star.
No. Farewell. Forever.
My eyes widen as she disappears. Once again, I have failed to grasp anything. Hello, King of all kings. You're about to meet your demise. Ouch.
Fluttering wing. Fall.
Is burning. The fire is burning.
Dude has so much speed.
Full. Complete insight. Full. Complete insight. No room for error.
Ouch.
Complete insight.
Healing. What the fuck?
Complete insight. Like the heartstrings.
The fire is burning. The fire is burning. The fire is burning. Blooming from the flames. In the name of Florence. The fire is burning.
Ouch. Shit. Oh, come on, I can dodge in time, bro.
No room for error. Complete insight. Ansu. End it all.
Okay. The golden light strikes the giant's legs, shattering them completely as Zero unleashes her full strength. The giant collapses on the ground, yet still crawls towards us.
Let's go.
Don't you dare run away. Face me.
The nameless tyrant crawls on the ground, struggling to move forward. He has lost his horse, his army, his dignity, and his humanity. After 500 years, he was finally reunited with the Emeon who once deceived him.
Oh, Emeons from the future.
It reaches out its hand towards the back of the two people moving away.
If you truly are from 2,500 years from now, tell me. Tell me. Tell me!
The end of the world.
Tell me, Emeon, is everything you just said true? I believe you're aware that I've showered you with the utmost respect from an emperor. I believe you're also aware that the nonsense you just said is enough for me to order your tongue removed.
The Emperor's voice remained calm, with only a hint of annoyance, but his gaze beneath his drooping eyelids display a childlike curiosity.
I've conquered the south, reaching the edge of the world. A great achievement that should be engraved in your libraries. Yet you told me I'm far from seeing the entirety of the world.
Pythagoras replies humbly.
Indeed, Your Majesty. You will certainly go down in history as a great emperor, Your Majesty. But with all due respect, this world has no edges, and you are far from owning it. You may perceive the world as a series of clay slabs, stretching from one end to the other, with mountains and seas interspersed in between. However, the world is a sphere, where the beginning meets the end. When one reaches the supposed edge of the world, they find themselves back where they started.
Pythagoras closes his eyes, only to be met with the resounding laughter from the Emperor.
What an absurd statement. It's been quite some time since someone dared to be so audacious, my god. Nevertheless, I shall allow you to continue your discourse purely for the sake of entertainment. However, if your words bore me, it'll be more than just your tongue that I remove. You claim that the world is a sphere. Very well. Prove it to me.
Yes, Your Majesty. As an emperor who has conquered numerous lands, you must be aware that the North Star appears higher in the sky the further north one travels, and conversely, it appears lower in the southern regions. When observing a ship approaching from the horizon, one perceives the mast before the deck becomes visible. The world is indeed a sphere, and the curvature of the land and the sea occurs beyond the range of our vision. It is due to the vastness of the world that, while standing upon it, we mistake it for being flat. To humans, Obed may appear immense, but to the entire world, Obed is merely a small portion of the spherical whole. Just as ants may consider mountains as mountains and ponds as oceans, when they climb a tree, they perceive it as occupying a vast territory. I intend no disrespect, but when your army arrived at the Great Desert and believed they had conquered the entire southern realm, they were akin to those ants.
Darius could have swiftly executed him for such a daring statement. However, Darius takes a moment to ponder before continuing his inquiry.
Why a sphere?
Because a sphere is the most perfect shape in existence. Natural forces strive to minimize the size of objects in all dimensions. A sphere possesses the smallest surface area for a given enclosed volume. It epitomizes perfection.
I don't quite understand the ramblings of your crazy mind, but I can grasp that you consider the sphere to be the most favored shape.
Indeed, Your Majesty.
If your claims hold true, then regardless of how far I traverse, I shall never surpass its boundaries and merely return to my starting point.
That is correct.
Darius falls into deep contemplation. Pythagoras sighs and speaks once more.
It is true, Your Majesty, that the concept of an end does not truly exist upon the sphere where you currently stand.
Pythagoras points in a particular direction, guiding Darius' gaze.
I implore you to direct your attention there.
Darius' gaze follows Pythagoras' finger, and then he sees the boundless expanse of stars adorning the night sky.
The sky?
Precisely, Your Majesty, the sky. Just as the earth beneath our feet is a sphere, so too are the moon and the sun, spheres of varying sizes.
Darius interrupts Pythagoras.
If the stars in the sky are indeed, as you claim, spheres, and the ground beneath our feet is but an inconsequential fragment from one of these spheres, doesn't that mean that all the land I've conquered so far is but a speck of dust in a vast sea of sand?
Pretty much.
It may be just a speck of dust, but it's a precious speck of dust, and our homeland. However, it's undeniable that it is, after all, just a speck of dust. Perhaps only by traversing this desert, which contains countless specks of dust, will you truly reach the end of the world. Are you frustrated by this revelation, Your Majesty?
It's a capital offense to try to speculate on the mind of an emperor.
Please, forgive my audacity. All I meant to express is that I found solace in this realization.
Solace, you say?
Yes. I felt a sense of solace knowing that our thoughts, struggles, and everything we hold dear are insignificant compared to the world itself. Every day in this land, people kill or are killed, pillaged or are pillaged, for land, food, faith, and dogma. Yet, when I gaze upon the starry sky, all of their deeds fade away. It reminds us that our thoughts and actions can be influenced by our self-centered perspectives. It highlights the limitations of our vision and the shallowness of our ideas.
Pythagoras raises his head and looks into Darius' eyes.
The world does not revolve around us, not even the ground beneath our feet. Consider how an adult perceives a toddler's cries. The toddler cries because they have never seen the real world and are ignorant of real problems. However, with this revelation, you would understand that the difficulties and confusion you currently face are, in the grand scheme, similar to a toddler's cry. Look at the curtain of stars above you. It will make us reevaluate the value of all people to one another and the value of people to the world.
Darius laughs.
Well, that was quite a speech. You've asked if I'm frustrated, but it seems you're the one who is frustrated.
Pythagoras pauses briefly and lets out a gentle sigh.
Indeed, Your Majesty. No matter how much I stretch, I can't reach the stars with my hands.
Come to think of it, it's a good reason you'd give.
However, in the next moment, a smile at the corner of Darius' mouth disappears as he strikes the ground heavily with the scepter in his hand.
Such is your greatest insolence. You, a mere mortal, dare to speculate on the thoughts of the king of all kings. Do you think my silence was because of frustration? Ridiculous. How ridiculous. Do you understand what it means to tell the king of all kings that there are countless other worlds like ours?
I mean, it is a fact, though. Darius extends his hand towards the stars in the sky.
It means there are endless lands waiting to be conquered. Interesting. How interesting. If the barren desert in the south is the so-called end of the world, that would be truly disappointing. This world is so subtle and so vast, but as a scholar, all you do is reveal it. This is where I'd say your mind is narrow. I'll conquer them. It's the highest form of homage I, as an emperor, can offer.
Sure you will, buddy. Pythagoras wetting his eyes slightly. Then for the first time, the haughty Emeon bows slightly, acknowledging the emperors of the mortals.
I am delighted that you are the ruler of this land, Your Majesty.
Instead of looking at Pythagoras, Darius gazes at the distant stars, his hand clenched into a fist.
Emeon, I will be the one to conquer the distant stars.
The nameless tyrant stops crawling forward. That distant and brilliant curtains of stars, long forgotten, reappears before his eyes. The embers of his ambition for a moment rekindle. The unnamed tyrant for a brief moment becomes a revered king, well king once again. The goal is pursued, the answer is taught. Darius raises his head high and shouts into the void.
Tell me, Emeons from the future, tell me, did I conquer the distant stars?
No, you don't even exist anymore. No. He remembers everything again.
You truly are my favorite servant, Fahad. Arise, for I shall share my glory and dreams with you. One day we'll leave our footprints across the entire expanse of the sky.
Oh my god, that night he stood beside the fire, counting the wisps of flame. recalling all the wonders he had encountered along the way back from his expedition. And then he saw a sky full of stars reflected in the stream to his side. At that moment, he couldn't help but raise his head, gazing upon the starry sky. The starry sky shone above like trembling silver foil, the Milky Way that flowed silently through the summer night. Let him see them again. Darius closes his eyes. Let him see them again. Damn. That was wild. And that was that. That was a complete chapter. Alright guys, I gotta go to bed. It's been 2 hours and a half. If you like, share, subscribe, you know the rest. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Bye bye! Can't do that high note now.